Oh, she's waiting to come in. There she is.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good
Hello
evening.
there.
Hi, Karen.
Okay, I think we're good. Okay. So Dwayne, are you going to act as our chair this evening as Mark isn't going to be here?
It doesn't matter to me who does it. I think I did it the last time when Mark was absent, so maybe Larry would like to try.
No, I will defer to you, Dwayne. That's perfectly okay.
As will the rest of us.
All right, well, I'll serve that capacity, I guess. And with that, it's a little after 6:30 PM, and I'll call the town council meeting together for May 26, 2020. This meeting is being held by Zoom or Facebook or YouTube, whichever you can access. And I think Missy has us connected here, so I don't see any folks attending yet at this point, but it is up and running, I think. Larry, you got your little flag? Why don't you lead us in the pledge?
She's muted.
Sorry, guys. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag
of the United States
United
of
States
America, to the republic for which it
which it
stands,
stands,
which it
one
stands,
nation,
one nation,
under
under
God,
God,
under
indivisible, with
indivisible,
liberty
with
and
liberty
justice
and
for
justice. All.
I'm not sure that serves us well when we're electronic here, so,
It's all about the thought.
yeah. Well, we have Town Manager Melissa Doan here with us tonight. I'm Councilor Dwayne Lugden. I'll be acting as temporary chair. We have Councilor Larry Wade, Councilor Charles Clemens, and Councilor Karen Richards. With that, the first item on our agenda, item number 2, is to open a public hearing. This has to do with the Town of Bradley annual referendum ballot. And I believe that ballot has been posted both at the post office, if I remember right, as well as online. Is that true, Melissa?
That is true.
Have you had any comments come in regarding that proposed ballot?
I have not.
I don't see anybody attending this hearing for the public. Is there any commentary from the council with respect to the ballot?
Looks good to me.
Yep.
Okay, Melissa, do you want to finalize that now, or you want to put this in abeyance and come back to it?
So under new business, you will motion to accept and sign the Town of Bradley municipal election warrant, which is basically calling the election for July 14th.
Okay, we'll see if there's anybody attending the hearing by then, and we'll ask for comments if they need it. So with that, I'll close the public hearing for now and open the town council meeting. The first order of business there is a review of the minutes. And I'll make a motion to accept the May 12th, 2020 council minutes as presented or with discussed changes. Is there any commentary from the council?
I would second that motion.
Okay, motion and second. Is there any commentary? Hearing none, we'll take the vote. Larry?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Charlie?
Aye.
And Dwayne is aye. Number 7 is to open us up for citizens' requests. And as I say, I'm not seeing anybody, Melissa, on the YouTube feed.
Mhm.
I don't know about Facebook.
There's nobody on there right now. Nobody, no comments.
Okay, so we'll assume there are no citizens' requests, and I'll likely come back to that at the end and look and check and see if there's people that have come in. And with that, we'll move on to number 8, the manager's report.
Okay, I discovered this past week or last week that we never did a formal motion by the town council to approve the removal of the $1,350 from the undesignated fund balance to pay for the installation of the glass partition that we had completed in March. Per our charter, the town council can expend up to $5,000 per year from the undesignated fund balance for purchases that are outside the normal budget. We discussed it, and then we closed the town office and had Zoom meetings, and we just never did a formal motion. So if a council member would like to make that.
I will so move.
I would second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll take the vote. Larry,
Aye.
Karen,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
and Dwayne's and I.
Just to kind of let you know, the planning board, we're anticipating that we'll be able to hold meetings here at the municipal office in June because attendance will be permitted up to 50. So the planning board is going to be having a workshop on June 17th. I'm not exactly sure what they're on their agenda, but they have a desire to continue to be active. So I just wanted to let you know about that. The RSU 34, I had emailed them after our last meeting and asked for an update regarding our assessment, and they provided that to me. Their amount for the 2020 and 2021 budget is $1,312,406. So that is actually $5,823 less than what this current assessment was. So that was
Pleasant piece of business there.
That's right. With that information, I provided you estimated tax rate calculation forms using that new RSU assessment and using the municipal budget that you approved at the last meeting of May 12th. There was 2 tax calculations. One is if the voters do not approve the $70,000 removal from undesignated surplus, and that estimated tax rate is $1,550. And if the voters do approve a $70,000 tax rate, my estimate is 15. Our current tax rate is 14.9, and that tax calculation is using this year's evaluation. So I do anticipate that we'll be able to stay very close to our tax rate, providing that the voters approve the removal of those funds.
Melissa, remind me again when our commitment date is.
We can commit anytime in our new year, which would be July 1. Our meeting is July 14th. So we can commit anytime after that for our following year. We have to get the final numbers from Mark, the assessing agent, and he usually has those to me by the 1st of July.
Okay, so this year we might expect that maybe in August.
August, most likely.
Okay.
Last of July, 1st of August, yep. Which we've done it that late before too, so. The governor issued an executive order on May 12th that provided some information regarding tax liens. And I supplied you with a memo that outlined what my schedule is typically for tax liens, that I usually send out the 30-day notices in June. And then 30 days after that, the lien is placed on the property. And then they have 18 months after that before it becomes automatically foreclosed. The executive order did give you some opportunity to some leniency on doing those tax liens. My recommendation is that we stay with the current schedule that we have, but I wanted to give you that option if you chose to do so. On March 13th, I sent out 143 reminder notice. And as of today, 66 of them are still unpaid. So that's typically about what we typically have for unpaid taxpayers. So just wanted to give that to you for your consideration.
Melissa, even if we were to enact some sort of a delay, it wouldn't change the actual lien foreclosure, would it?
It will put it out 60 days past, so we can start the process 60 days past the executive order. So if the the state of emergency. So if the state of emergency ends in September, we therefore could do it as late as October. That starts the process. So then it's 30 days and then a lien and then 18 months to foreclosure.
Okay, so moving it ahead would change the foreclosure then.
That's correct.
Okay. Any
I just
comments from the
assumed-
council?
I just as soon see it stay the way it is. There's plenty of time.
I'd have it prefer to see it stay the same also.
I guess I would agree as well. This doesn't have any effect at all on a cash flow issue, is it? Would it?
No, I mean, things are pretty good here because a majority of our properties are in escrow, and mortgage companies, regardless of whether their mortgage holders pay their escrow, mortgage companies typically do, so they don't have to lose to any liens. And
Okay.
majority of people, their house payment includes their taxes, so.
Yep.
I think anytime we can be consistent with past practice, we ought to do that.
Okay. Also included in that memo was a statement that residents that their town participates in online registrations and is offering appointments or services, those residents have to register their cars or their vehicles within a normal timeline. There's been some discrepancy about whether that's still in place, but we are encouraging our residents to come in and register their vehicles just so they don't get lost in any confusion. Inland Fisheries is stating that their vehicles, which is snowmobiles, boats, and ATVs, their 30-day grace period ended on April 30th. So they're requiring that all registrations be done as a normal. So just for our public out there, you should be registering your vehicles. And let me see. Oh, I emailed you a copy of my contract. My contract expires every year, June 30. The only change that was in the contract was obviously my salary amount. And I added language regarding my contribution to the employment plan needs to be on a matching contribution. And that the amount that you would set in the budgetary amount with the $3,500 for me to get that whole $3,500, and I obviously need to contribute that same amount. So I just wanted to know if town council had a chance to review that and if you wanted to approve that at this time or wait.
I reviewed it this afternoon and I would be happy to make a motion that we approve that.
I
I'll
would second that.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. Larry,
Aye.
Karen,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
and Dwayne is happily an aye.
And then
Congratulations, Missy.
Yes.
And then the last thing I have is Terry Coulter of 43 Highland Avenue. He was one of the properties that were subject to the automatic foreclosure in January of 2020. He came in on Friday, May 22nd, and paid all of his outstanding taxes. So
Yay.
that is taken care of. I will prepare a deed for you to review and sign. It's just a quick claim deed, giving him back his property rights from the town for our next town council meeting. The house, there's another property that is still outstanding, and that's located at 6 Parlin Street. There are some code enforcement issues. The property needs to be cleaned up. So my recommendation would be that we place the property out to bid with a caveat in it that it has a timeline that the purchaser would have to have the property cleaned. So we sell the property, you know, as we have with all of our tax foreclosed property, giving them 90 to 120 days to clean the property up. And if they're all in favor, then I can work on getting that bid package ready for your next town council meeting.
Makes
And
sense to me.
Sounds good.
I think Larry
Okay.
is concurring.
I am. I just have to push my space bar to get my off mute.
Okay. So I think we're all on board with that, Melissa.
Okay, so that's all I have for my manager's report.
Okay, I had one question I wanted to ask. We see the trucks are out trimming the brush. Is that the electric company that's doing that, or are we doing that?
That is Amara doing that.
Okay. All
Or
right,
their new name. Whatever
Oh,
their
yeah.
new name is.
exactly. Okay, if nothing further on the manager's report, we'll move on to number 9, which is new business. And the first order of business there is a motion to accept and sign the Town of Bradley municipal election warrant for the July 14, 2020 annual referendum. So a motion is in order.
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Melissa, can you tell if there's anybody online?
I will do a refresh and see.
I can see 3 people on the YouTube feed, but maybe us, I don't know.
There is no comments. We've engaged 24 people on Facebook, but there is no comments.
Excellent.
And YouTube, no comments.
Okay, good. So with that, we have a motion and a second. I'm assuming there is no further dialogue from the council. Hearing none, let's move forward to the vote. Larry,
Aye.
Karen,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
and Dwayne is aye.
So that is technically supposed to be signed by the town council. Is there a majority that can come in and sign tomorrow?
I can come in. That's no problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can come in tomorrow sometime, Melissa.
me
Okay,
too.
I could if you need it.
okay. Charlie, I mean, if you're gonna be around, fine, but you don't need to come over because a 3 will be a majority, so that's fine.
Okay.
I'll stop by, Melissa, or maybe afternoon time, but I'll stop.
Okay, I'll have it ready for your signatures. If I'm here, it's nice out, my window will be open, so you can just scream, let me in.
There you go.
So I'll do that and my contract. I'll put both of them together so we can get that both taken care of, so.
Excellent. Okay, with that matter behind us, is there any other new business, Melissa?
I have no other new business.
Any new business from the council? Hearing none, let's move on to the next agenda item, which is unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business, Melissa?
Not really. I will just let you know, I have met with John Milligan regarding some road work for this summer. We're not 100% sure if we can get it done. My proposal was to reclaim and repave Highland Avenue and Bullen Street and take care of any ditching and culvert replacements that need to be happen. Because we won't know if we have approval until July 15th, it's setting us back. whether we can get it paved in time. So we went and walked it one night last week, and Highland Avenue was actually redone in 1997. So I actually have the drainage plans for that. So he's going to look at that and kind of report back to me to see if there's something that we can do. If not, it might be a project that we put on hold until next spring and try to shoot for a pavement redo like this time next year. Because if we get approval in July, we don't spend the money, we'll still have it available to us next spring. So just to kind of let you know what's going on with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Melissa, one of the things we face each year after the snowplow does its task, those plows sometimes will move a lot of the gravel off of the shoulders. Are we doing any shoulder work this summer at all?
I haven't put that I didn't put that in my budget, no. Is there a certain area that's a concern or?
Well, sometime if you're out riding around, take a look at 10 Road. We've got a number of curves in the road, and for some reason his plow moves that shoulder dirt away, so.
Okay.
A couple of
that's-
places we're starting to see the edge of the asphalt, and it'll break away if we don't put something on it.
Okay. Well, I do have a contractor, his Dave Hovenkamp. He's done a couple culvert replacements that I had due to flooding. So he might be interested in doing smaller projects like that if John isn't able to. So that is
Yeah.
something we could probably get done.
I don't think it would take much, really. Okay, any other unfinished business?
Just, I have one kind of little thing that's been bothering me as you drive south on 178, and just before you get to where was the automotive business, there's a long driveway from the trailer up back, and there's the back end of a pickup truck, a bed liner that's been sitting at the side of the road and using as a trash collection point. And it starts, like on a Friday morning, and trash gets put in there. And then by Thursday, when trash collection comes around, there's quite a bit of it. But a lot of it's not in bags or done now. And so it just stays there
Okay.
all week long. I'm sure others of you have seen that. It's just a real mess.
Is Sullivan servicing that thing as if it was a bin or something?
They are servicing and taking the bags that are put in and but there's always a bunch of trash left. And the bottom of it's got paper, and of course it's pretty waterproof because it's a bed liner. And so it just collects rainwater and
Right.
everything gets soggy in there, and it's just a mess.
Wow.
I will mention that to Dean tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else under unfinished business? No questions online, Melissa?
Oh. No questions online.
Okay, and with that, we'll move forward to item number 11, which is the warrants. And I'll make a motion to accept municipal warrant number 78 in the amount of $5,359.30. Warrant number 79 in the amount of $6,271 even. And warrant number 80 in the amount of $59,391.54.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote. Larry,
Aye.
Aaron,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
and Dwayne is an aye. Next meeting is scheduled for June 9, 2020. If you can't attend the meeting, please let Melissa know at the town office and send an email if you can to the rest of the council. At this point, I think a motion to adjourn is in order.
No, are we gonna do that meeting live, or are we gonna do Zoom again? We don't need to do Zoom because it's, we don't have a public hearing.
Right.
I think we can do it in the municipal building. I think June 1, it's up to 50 people.
Yes, it
So
is. Yeah.
I think we're good
So we're done with this electronic thing, huh?
for now.
It's kind of nice
Yeah.
not having to go to town.
Yeah.
See,
I
busy.
wouldn't have minded a bike ride tonight, though.
Yeah.
And ice cream.
Yeah.
I rode up to Mount Katahdin the other day, Charlie. It was really good.
Oh, did you? Oh, good for you.
Yeah. Okay, folks, a motion to adjourn is in order. Do we have a motion?
So
So
moved.
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 All in?
Aye, aye.
Yeah.
Enjoy your evening, guys.
All right, bye.
Thank
Hey.
you.
Thank you.
Good night. Thanks.
Night.
Good night.